Oh, we're gonna get ourselves going. The usual. Yeah, it's per usual. I'll build you up over to here. We're going to, there you go. I'll get some already up in here. And I'll make some seeds over here. Get them Kevcast stuff over there. Them on top of that. I'm thinking of redoing like the Kevcast series I got over here because of all the new shit that we got going over here. I don't know when I'll get to that. We'll have to get around that sometime over there, but should be fine. These memories of the revolution. The year was 1918 when the Volodymyr rebellion occurred, with a joint force of anarchists, communists, agrarians, social democrats, and so state armed against the Tsar's establishment. The empire crashed to the ground, and the war family quickly fled from the capital overseas. The quick collapse of the royalist heroes, Stembolisky, was crowned as the first president of the People's Republic. Over 18 years from the revolution, we stand proudly. We stand proudly. Very proudly. Yeah, I like how the both the anarchists and the Excel and the reactionaries are like in like a little joint group together. Like you can go from both extremes over into there. Yeah, I definitely do think of shit enough. Everything. He's by far my favorite of the Bulgarian stuff over there. Along the anarchist dude, Mr. Botev, yeah. Definitely like the two favorites over there with Bulgaria's content. Now goodbye to the old friend. I should probably read this before we do that. As for the deal of 1933 allowed us to grow strong and stable in the guise of Belgrade. However, the cooperation in the United Yugoslav Revolution showed war and signs of becoming domination over our lands. Disturbances occurred for Belgrade, where Devon Bikovic is striving for centralization and increasingly sees anarchy and a system that needs to be suppressed. We've taken measures to influence Yugoslavia, allowing the SJ and K to support favorable policies in our region, but it can't last forever. It is unknown if we will be able to prepare when the breaking point comes. Or there. Just see. The agrarians have been lucky to have ruled Bulgaria since the Roman Revolution. Lucky and have been created loopholes in the system. Peasants dominated the election by voting for the party that favors them in the pit. It is the paternal mobilization that creates an ideal situation that the end must. Sorry. It's my throat. Not anything good. No, top, but it's fine. I can push on through it. Although the anarchist social democratic country can influence the social revolutionary party, Dembolisky cannot lay the vision for a new Bulgaria be destroyed by either the right or the left, and he intends to keep a steady course by handing power over to his right hand, very called the Kuskov, to maintain his legacy. Yeah, he's a path. Over there. Yeah, forget that. See you over there because you guys are loud. Sounds are fine over there. I just think they're too loud for my ears. I'll do that for the recording rather. I'm dead. He's dead red. Red dead red. Funny. Now there's what we got going on under here. What we got going on over there. What we got going on to there? Human treat. Now guys, I got these things over here. We are not going to really be bothering with this. This will be seeing on PP for later. Let's see. Foundry. Also, I'm well. The thing about what was about to occur, yet everyone knew it was coming. The president was going to step down. No king could defeat him, and no sides could fail. And yet, the father of the Bulgarian Revolution, Alexander Stembolisky, quickly rose from his chair at the head of the Assembly Hall, walking with dignity and poise to the speaker podium. A hush fell over the People's Assembly as Stembolisky took his place. Serving the elected array of representatives that made the fledgling government he thought tooth and nail to create and maintain all those years. His own agrarian union, the Bulgarskism, now ruled and says, formed the majority of these before him. Orange ties and the symbols of allegiance are forcefully. See them with the tainted partners in government, the anarchists with their black armbands, the communists with the BKP sporting red, social democrats, some token representative from the military, some minor representative, front of the ring delegates from grade SJ and K watched on, dispassionate as usual. Shuffling his speech papers a little and raising his voice, Stembolisky began a solemn rousing speech about the past 18 years at the helm. He spoke of the case in 1918, the destruction and ruin of the old Tsar Ferdinand and the royal estate wrought. Then he spoke about the first flames, the shackles of oppression, from the formation of the old guard to secure the new social republic and the peasantry of Bulgaria, praising what he called their inherent duty, putting the contributions to the government solely in their service. Furthermore, he repeated his support for the course, correct balancing act of marking socialist interests for the sake of the agrarian cause. Finally, Alexander gestured directly to the guys from Belgrade, reaffirming his belief in pan-Slavism, commitment to 1933 friendship with the boundary Yugoslav state, and the Bulgarian social republic together in the two systems, one people compromise. That's what the White Thracia Autonomous Yugoslav region. This party war the appreciation about the cheers and applause, but the cracks were visibly the key service. BKP members were terse in their applause and many looked on coldly, for it was an open series that revealed the support of the compromise of the revolution. Supposed compromise of the revolutionary cause. Likewise, the anarchist reactions were mixed bag, and supposedly the Boltaev was not present for the speech. Some know that among the observant army officers, some looked almost enraged by the whole affair. During the speech, Yablowski officially confirmed what many already knew. Recalled that Skolov was endorsed his replacement to the head of the BZN for the election soon, and it held in due time. Stepping down from the podium and a thunder of applause, he walked out to the People's Assembly to make his formal organization. In an era. So he willingly stepped down instead of it being forced over here. Alright, hammering the system. 2 mills, nice. According to track first policy, the BZN are not without controversy. The socialists and economists will primarily have support from the urban workers, say that they are a backwards country that needs an industrial transition. It's technically the bigger landlords. You gradually without mercy. Frankly, we know what this country needs and the proper balancing of urban and rural interests. The power will decide what policy is best, but it's likely the BZN will go to election promising continuity with our cause. Indeed. Well, won't really be bothered with these events over here, rather. Still read them over here. But what we're doing over here, it's gonna be really a lot more direct action than anything else that we could. Definitely empty tired. Anyways, hammering the system. In awakening the impending possibility of changing government, a fury and new economic political coming from the various peasants and workers collective and associated political parties. There's an amber feel of specific chaos within the Bulgarian civil service, the precarious balance and the spite of alternative agreements of compromise at the local municipal levels in previous years have been upended. If it would be quite a change over there, considering for 18 years nothing's been staying the course, rather. Galvanized has now done an effort to long last provide a formally consistent core policy by which the economy shall be run. What would the proposal would put forward the best of the people, or at least that's what their propositions say? Both of the anarchists advocate an uncompromised push towards complete decentralization, and the full nation will bow up playing nationwide. Is that contrast in the comments of the BKP proposed wiping the slate clean? By putting an end to the mixed economy, dedicating the economic policy via central planning from Sofia. Eddie market action entirely. Wedged in the middle of these two radical proposals, the ruling agrarian BZNS, there remain no sustainability to orange models say the course of maintaining the current system of market socialism for the supposed benefit of Bulgaria's peasant majority. A step must be made, however. It is a fierce debate. Political movement here in action has been decided that decentralization is the key to true liberation. Might as well over there. Assuming that these events won't matter until we get the thing. Anyways, farmers set up right, do sieves. Bit nice. Nothing too much over here, but it's nice to have these. Farmers in the lifeblood of Bulgaria, without their food and dedication, really be nothing. However, is their political power too great? After 2 decades of the BZNS, we have seen kulaks and half kulaks abuse the handouts and lack of oversight we give them. Some even in the party are questioning what food or policies are bearing. Some also question Snubberliski's lack of interest in modernizing the tools available to farmers, for programs of investment to make agriculture more efficient over the sort of stability in the countryside. I think anything to make it more efficient would probably be more beneficial than this fucking hand tools and crap. I don't know what the hell would you want to do over there. Gotta get that green, and not just in money but in food. Guys are dead, of course. So you might be wondering, what about all this pubic stuff here? It's not gonna matter. What will matter is when we do this. That will matter. Let me tell you, things will matter. At this. I've seen benefits. Throughout the past few weeks, Sophia has been driven to frenzy of political campaigning and agitation. Campaigners and activists of all sorts have taken the streets, and the BZNS have been chief among them. First and foremost, among the public observers are now jostling for support in the coming election is Ray Kovalevsky. Zabalisky's endorsed Canton. Comments I implore, over the past 18 years, the agrarian cause has advanced further than any of us had ever dared to dream. As we once languished in the ashes of the Great War, we stand at the cusp of greatness, a united Balkan state devoted to and won by our people, the peasantry. We remain firm, and I can promise you this now, as I go even further to ensure this. Many Bulgarians feel that the modernization and aggregation is a detriment to the common man, but as this, I say no. Perhaps in the handful of bankers and cold businessmen this might occur, but I say it is the people. Mechanization, modernization, these need not be elements of the enemies of the agrarian cause, sorry. Yet I must emphasize the caution too. Somebody deluded and misled into believing that Bulgaria should industrialize in the same way the rest of the world has. To turn our city into smog-filled giants of industry and soot, the likes of London and New York. For the sake of what? For what they call the progression of history, the sustain of peasants' roles, the force of our masters to see for want of work. Is this worthy of us Slavs? No. Is it worthy of people gifted with a land so fresh and fertile? No. No, no, and no. I refuse to believe our chances of prosperity is truly shackled to destruction of the weird man's livelihood. Industry serves our needs, not vice versa. Pausing, Miko surveyed the bustling crowds arrayed in front of him. Workers, peasants, activists, militia, itinerant merchants, elders, youths, men, women, everybody, man. They were assembled in all walks of life like a buzz and murmur. Some nodding their heads, others shaking disapproval as words sailed in and the crowd began to respond. See. No talking to support Trudy. Something else must be done. The commies in the Andes and that good shit. Fist for the bourgeois. We gain Van Suck, Pop Suck, Weave Rev Suck, and Anox 5. Con, Poly, Despot, and Excel -5. Alright. Stimblisky was never a bloodthirsty red beast associated wanted in these styles but feared. Power of the bourgeois was limited under his government, but trades and landlords had recognition of their place in the economy. The left allies and opposition to the BZ in this anticipation of complete the Bulgarian revolution, which places us in an unusual position of being peasant-based party supported by a faction of the big capitalists. Here's what we told through the elections over the flags in the streets went red. I mean, this is basically just NEP. What Nikolai Bukharin wanted to do, new upon policy. Socialism, what was it socialism the city and capitalism the village? Or was it backwards? Fuck, if any of you know, if I got that right out with the whole Bukharin little thing over here, let me know, because I feel like it's backwards over there. Depending on circumstances. Big Red Revolution, all sorts of reviews. A Black Lagoon, if you I don't even know why I made a reference over there. If you know what I'm talking about, you know. If you don't know. I know. Crunch Fritz heads down over there. We got a lot of readings for this, we might as well waste time. I mean, yeah, after we do all this, we're still going to be playing reading over there. But we get some conquests as well. That's going to be some nice in between. Tensions were high in the hall. The People's Assembly is thoroughly packed and nearly full of attendants. The constant buzz of grumbling and murmurs, a middle-aged functionary of the Social Democrat BRSDP took on the speech podium. A determined but almost nervous look on his face, damaged forward with a handkerchief. He waved the helm drum of the assembly in a momentary debate. Comrades, we are at a crossroads that we have been stuck at for far too long. Our public now is the people of the future he deserves. He begins to this ripple of grumbles from all the parties, some approving, some disapproving. He continued. I will be frank with you. We have been done a disservice by Stimblisky. What kind of revolution could we truly purport to those who are certain if we allow and accommodate petty capitalists and bourgeois elements? Couldn't read from what. We have been promised social change for years now. They have remained here in this limbo, this farce of so-called market suckism. For the sake of the peasants, they say, yet more live in this country, do they not? Will the proletariat, the urban walker, shout at the top of his lungs at this point? At the assembly hall, the storm was shouting. Opposition groups like the communists and syndicats shouted their approval alongside the Social Democrats for once. What the agrarian union majority and allies yelled protest. With a crazy faith, the Social Democrat continued despite the coffee, and voice quiet once more a question cut through the air. What do you propose then? How shall we address the issue of the Bulgarian bourgeois? Well, asked by a young anarchist, one of Haristo's followers. Taking a little back, he stammered to reply. Is it the policy of the BRSDP that we should purchase and distribute all levels of property and the working class as the same as the agrarians? Hypocrites, cried out BKP representative, and the whole exploding the arguments into them once more. Diggers and communists decried such a party as have measured an appeasement of class and land base, a foolish denial of class conflict and interests. On the other hand, the BZ and its members hollered that the peasantry was the backbone of the nation. It must therefore be served as first and foremost, for the benefit of all. If it meant deviating from social norms, conservation and change would come, they say, when the time was right, and in an appropriate manner. They would only outweigh the opposition more, for some need to be held back by their more level-headed peers. Other smaller groups soon found their own opinions drowned out. Ultimately, three main opinions fighting for supremacy declared to the people's assemblies. Both types of anarchists demanded nothing less than the immediate abolition of private interests that remained, to be distributed among local communes as needed. Communists next BKP instead demanded that no compensation should be given, and assets would be seized and used and needed for the sake of the revolutionary vanguard, said in Sevilla. Dutch Colombian rather dismayed Jablonski maintained the BZ and his party line at any change being solely the interest of the agrarian cause. There is so-called concessions being in place clearly for the peasants' benefits. As the assembly session came to a close, the voices rang out the longest. The loudest of those were, but of the anarchists, for true revolution. Well, 4 anarchists over here, and then we're gonna cock them. It's gonna be funny. And we're fit the pippy. Alright. Blood and sweat, but the political alliance to question 9 and 18 is whether we have the goal not to step along the road. And what does the law read to? A council republic, anarchy, or dictatorship, the proletariat? Many say that they are dissatisfied with the status quo, but it's mostly the loudest voice on the left that calls for the outright upheaval. Or at least we assume this. This number has been the most controversial issue before this election. If we better worse, the people must decide. Le Pepel. Oh, the Pepel. Le Putte as well. Right, all that good shit going on here. As much as I would love to fucking these people over here, we gotta get this, we gotta get Sophia's influence up and running. And also need to get some dudes that can give us PP. So probably something more. It's something more we shall see. Just see it. Ambition is bigger than the state. The sound of smattering glass and splintered wood shattered. This would echo across the filling grid, punctuated swiftly with the sound of rifle creaks landing through the cold morning air. A riot had begun, and made across Bulgaria over the past few days. Agitation led by the BKP to the more orthodox socialists bringing the all-time high, with impassioned young members and other radicals taking matters in all hands and roving the streets for an angry mob. The prime grievances of the old revisionists, the BZNS, whom they have a long quality thought of and now loudly declare the enemies of socialist dream. Compromise and bourgeois. While the upper echelons of the Communist Party have yet declared themselves strictly in favor of these attitudes, clear that many that they operate with required approval of many within the BKP. Outside of Wilson Manor House on the edge of Leningrad, one such red was ascended. The panic owner and his friend had barricaded themselves inside, furniture and carpet piled against the window and doorway. "Where the God? Where the damn God?" he cried. Another flurry of rocks and the debris cried and smacked on the windows with blocking. This was pushing against some other antique carriage the carriage. "Get out of here, you birds, hoes and rats!" Someone shouted out from the mob. A burly fellow wearing a red armband. "You're gonna get what you deserve, do you hear me? Then we'll see that run the house of yours for the past bloody decade and a half, like it's still above us." He spat lobbing another brick as he spoke. He sailed through the air before crashing through the doorway window. With a flurry of panic, shouting eruption from inside the Blago Manor House, the mob whipped and shouted their approval, a cry of "Out! Out! Out!" rising in a frenzy. Their cries were cut short by a flurry of warning shots fired into the air of the rifles of the local Orange Guard, who had fought their way past the rioters and guarded against the manor guards and their grounds. "By order of the People's Assembly, this gathering is illegal. Disperse immediately!" Come the bellowing shots from the commissar leading the motley band of militia. The crowd turned to face them, shouting insults and protests and more than a few colorful words in the person of Deshkolov and Stembolitsky. Stepping to shoot at one another. Both sides of the competition brandished makeshift weapons along with an axe and knife. Although only the guard carried firearms, the mob made the first move. A horse dog crushing into the nose of a young guard member with a sickening and deafening thud. He turned his rifle as he fell down. The Simon struck a rider in the shin who fell screaming and clutching at the wound. As the cry of pain was starting to signal, both sides charged forward, except the armed guard or the riders. So raised the man to the ground. Shit. Again, a tense boat. So what the army? The alliance of 1980 is looking less and less terrible. The usual body army is continued obstacle, and even the BGNS knows it must be dealt with. But the election session, not the General Assembly, publicly criticized us on our policies. Say it. That's my thought. What that? Public criticized us on our policies. With rising militarism, you must be able to count on their loyalty. Any reform will be welcome at this point. How we go about the limiting in the political power of the army so that they cannot end, bring it into a public and a revolution. Well, we shall see, won't they? I get this feeling that it doesn't really matter that they're still going to try something. We'll go with here's some take description over here. Might as well just get that out. You see, victory A. The popping of Carl. The popping of Carl over there. Duty makes strength. That's an important question. If the total Pew's research says that the people simply could be described as tense, even hostile, then the total hastily called Louis Me was positively calm, serene even. Positive was due to the question at hand was a burning question, one that plagued Bulgaria since the 80s clearly written. One concerned by parties on both sides of the aisle. It was that on her erstwhile army, and the future of the militia will lead this new Bulgaria. The reality of the situation is punctuated by the glaring absence of the usual army officers who attend the meetings of the People's Assembly. Regardless of the army's lack of attendance, one thing was universally agreed upon: a radical change in one form or another was sorely needed. The problem was how it should be achieved. As most other issues brought before the assembly, a widely different solutions were presented in its factions. Remarkably, the least extreme option was presented personally by Hristo Shimiditsky. On behalf of the BKP, they pushed toward maintaining and first centralizing the structure of the armed forces, although at first it was met with the rumblings and accusations of half measures and lukewarm. Shimiditsky's true solution was soon made. Sooner, however, the officer corps was to be thoroughly purged and restaff with young and loyal officers needed, and of course, the old guards account for the two needs to be sealed off, but it's clear that modern releasing army of the idea means protection from revolution. Shimorsky stated firmly. Countering this, Ray called this kind of the BZ in his proposal, comparing a more active solution. Using the army and the paramilitary so that the old guard will be integrated to one body. When paramilitary officers be strategically inserted on all levels of command to peacefully ensure the political loyalty to the armed forces. After all, what's better way to ensure the army's loyalty than by officially combining with the party militia? I am sure that cannot go wrong at all. Since the matter Rayco claimed would create a popular army that would not be estranged from the working man's cause, as he put it. Or abuse the working man's cause, rather. In sharp contrast to both of those reform proposals, the Anarchists represented put forward both proposals of a truly revolutionary army. One complete disillusion and reconstruction. The army in its core form would be expanded, and the leftovers of oppressive past would be done away with its current form. The traditional military structure would be left behind. Defense of the people being the responsible local militia, and a new insurgent army, a democratic and good militia given the task of regional defense beyond the local scale. It would be a force run by soldier committees and general assemblies, not generals, and the commissioned lackeys. One of the young representatives boasted loudly, fire in their eyes. And the traditional notion of an officer was to be done away with. Commanders fully elected and fully accountable to the men, with the army being based on some discipline. All its primaries decided upon by the commune. Debate raged for hours. He knew where to grab the situation. The eventually plan was won by and democratization. And now it's time for unity. Despite the venom we spat at one another, we can recognize the legitimacy of the opposition to help us in the revolution. The BGNS desires to keep it powerful for primary reasons, and there's no need for a totalitarian state. Most like we're civilized enough to understand the point of view and participate in elections rather than abolish our government through force. Unity makes strength thanks to Thanks to that unity, we have the opportunity to conduct peaceful elections until a more kind of parasite Slavs will live in. shall be quite a paradise over here. What's the word of God, rather? Good say other than today. Yeah. There's like a bunch of pads on my list for Ukraine as well. Like two more there, because I already done them over here with Bander. But now I want to do this Mecco in the who's that? Kaganovich and there's the oh yeah, the Utopian Socialist guy. I want to see what he's all about though here. Anyways, there goes that war. Oh, here with the Empire. Indeed. If the Soviets is provoked and found of joining the arms and neglect the agricultural multi-train, but eventually the warfare in the region doing was possible. Hands fuzzy, events and blood of massacre and blood. Anyways, meanwhile we had a shot and a bolt. In a sense of fear, cries and shots of panic rang the shots and that's why the air fired from rifles of outraged soldiers. The army conspirators keenly aware was transported public People's Assembly and assembled their lawyers and attempt to force the hand of the assemblies away from the sludgy and damaging army's influence of Bulgarian politics. No phase of onlookers peer firmly from around street corners and windows, watching and waiting. Inside the People's Assembly, members rushed to barricade the doors and a war of outraged pandemonium. They too rushed through windows and eventually pointed the front assembly building, grazing out of the square. Havoc was out going on the streets. Everything from shopping carts and stalls being hauled and placed in the makeshift obstacles, with angry citizens and militians blocking the path and the oncoming military columns. But in the pandemonium, both sides stood opposite one another in front of the People's Assembly, separated but buying one another from behind their impromptu barricades. The standout dragged out will on over lava. Quietly, the ringleaders be more in their lost momentum. Then it was finally cut by a young officer stepping out among his fellows, careless as his gloved hands. We, the brave and stealth men of the army of Bulgaria, absolutely and resolutely reject all attempts to undermine the will of our grand institution in defense of the Bulgarian nation. Our purpose here today is to gain, with no possible room for backhand politicking, a guarantee of invulnerability or integrity. The army shall not be carved and up and cracked into a tool of the assembly. As the officer went out, Stambolski and the minister frankly devised the next course of plan action. Civil war was untenable. Belgrade would seize such an opportunity for full annexation with both hands, and Bulgaria would be involved in the process. What must be done? For Soviet movement, the Bulgarian mutiny over here, yep. The Bulgarian Revolution 1936 was supposed to be quiet, at least in theory, demonstrating their agrarianness, all slightly taunted by the last term of Stambolski, guaranteed them yet another victory. Again, in theory, the army mutiny, they changed all of that. Not only has it provided other parties with the chance to challenge the government, the army itself hopes that it will either lead to a recount revolution, or at least put pressure to socialists to improve the army situation and allow it to participate in the elections. The original idea is getting Bulgarians to make it, but a spark of it is enough for the entire country to burn. Yugoslavia is preparing its troops on the border with Bulgaria to be able to restore order and possibly on its place, if necessary. The old Balkan pot boils hot again. Indeed it does. Every time without fail. Now I'm on the streets over here. I'm going to read a description of the man, then when I know if you could read it, be at time. But it is mutiny, indeed. Despite everything we have done to survive the people to forget our question, our holy rituals of democracy have been interrupted by a move in the throne. The mutineers and their fellow travelers have made the choice between their power and the democracy. Now we make ours. Our first course must be decided. Should we be making a show of force to break the mutineers, or try and sway some of their rank and file on the side? But we shall figure out what we're going to be doing with that next time. Right time over there. So next time over here, the fate of Bulgaria rests in our hands over here, and we shall see how it shall play out over there. We shall come on top. We all didn't know over here, but they do not. So until then, I shall see you guys in the next part of here. We'll get that going over there. As I perform this test do the series like a little testing ground or some of the new things I got over here. Didn't really major, but some new stuff. Anyways, I'll see you guys out. See you guys then. Hopefully we're here to get do knob up in here. Bye. Tell them bye. Sorry.